about ready to get started? All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Chief Jerry Wright, and thank you for joining us. It's a very exciting day. I have a speech in my hand and a gleam in my eye because we've been waiting for this for months. We saw it on the calendar coming. It was very exciting to celebrate and recognize great employees, all, and also, even more importantly, great people. Before we get started, a few folks I want to recognize, and there's a ton in here, so forgive me if I didn't see you or write you down. Of course, our mayor, Jeff Wagner, is here. We had Mayor. Also, our former mayor, Mary Isabel, is here. I saw earlier. How are you? Director of Communications, Rex Lindbergh, is here today. How are you? We have our mayor's chief of staff, Dan Pennington, and our HR director, Trina White, is here. I think there might be more, but I saw a few of our councilmen here. We have Councilman Shanebine, Councilman Ibarra, both here today. Thank you all for coming. Our civil service commissioners are here, Blair McClure and John Matthews. That's special support. Thank you all for making it out to this. Appreciate that. We have Precinct 8 Constable Phil Sandlin is here. Thank you, Phil, for making it. Also, Chief Kirk Bonzo from Precinct 3 Constables are here. Thank you, sir. Also, a couple former councilmen, Councilman Lehman and Councilman Bass, I saw. What else we got here? Wow, okay, I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I apologize, but I do want to say a special thank you to all our retirees. There's a ton of retirees from PPD here, and that is very special. We'll go on and talk about retirees and how important they are in just a moment. But I'm really glad to see all of our retirees here. I threatened Jerry Dugan that I'm going to pull him back into action. Close staffing. I'm going to need you to put back on the uniform. Also, I do want to recognize and thank my entire team that puts all this together. Ceremonies take quite a lot of work, and there's several people that work on it, so thank you all. Do a great job. Excellent people around me. Do appreciate that. And really and truly, when this idea came up early this year, we all talked about it because we knew the 50th was coming. We knew 245s were on the way. Chief Massey, I just saw you over there. Did I say you earlier? Okay, I don't know. I forgot already. He comes to everything, though. We're so glad he's here. Well, we talked about different ways to celebrate this in the market because it's historical. So we sat around and we said, okay, should we do a muster presentation, make sure all the officers are there, everybody gets a good feel of this longevity and all this history and everything? Okay, well, that was talked about. Should we do a smaller ceremony in the chief's office? That was talked about, too. And I am glad it ended up being a public ceremony, even though you guys just don't have much of a following. I'm sorry about that. And we talked about what we were going to do as far as markers for a gift for them. And a lot of ideas don't make it. They don't make it to the final cut in the historical dustbin. They land. One of them was kind of good, though. We were going to do a mural on the outside of the police building, kind of like Mount Rushmore, if you think that. And we actually found an affordable painter in the jail as a trustee. Very good with spray can art. But, budget demands. We could not really afford the long-term cost involved in that. Pigeon deterrence, not really. So I'll tell you what, we sure invest a lot in the future around this department, and that's the biggest things on a lot of folks' mind is staffing in police departments and law enforcement across the land, how difficult that is and how much we work toward that. We do a great job planning for the future, but I believe we also do a really great job of recognizing, honoring, and paying tribute to our traditions. And that's part of what today is all about. It's been said, you can't really know where you're going until you know where you've been. Maya Angelou said that, and I agree with her on that. So we're here today to honor and recognize a few of our most tenured veterans. Of course, you all know Lieutenant M.P. Jackson and Sergeant Ronnie Jordan, both 45 years of service as of this past April. And I want to say to Lieutenant Jackson, because I went to him and I said, wow, that's a big marker, 45 back in April. And he says, well, you know what, Ronnie's not here, and I don't want to do anything and be recognized until Ronnie gets here. And I thought, wow, that hit me pretty hard. I like that. We know Ronnie's been involved in a battle, and I'm so happy to see you here today, Ronnie. Keep fighting. Fight, fight. Absolutely. That's extraordinary, but we're also recognizing Sergeant James Anderson with an incredible 50 years of service. 50 years of service. And all that that means. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit just to give you a good context and good feel for that. So I'm going to have Sergeant Jordan and Lieutenant Jackson please step forward. And I'm going to have you all right to my right as we read a little bit about you. 45 is a milestone. James Anderson did it 5 years ago, and it was kind of like the 4-minute mile. We all said, that'll never happen. That'll never happen again. Of course, we have 2 young bucks that just did it again. Historic. Nipping at the heels of poor James, Sergeant Anderson. While on their separate journeys, they have both contributed greatly to the police department in so many ways, and I'll share that in a minute. And I'm grateful to all 3 of you because over the years I have had many conversations and during the course of my career, and I appreciated those talks with you all. Very, very important. And MP, I believe you were probably my supervisor for about maybe almost coming up on 2/3 or somewhere in that. So we had particularly a long run in juveniles together. Very important. All right. Here's for the good part. Ronald Keith Jordan was raised in Pasadena by his parents, Max and Nadine Jordan. He attended the best school combination in the history of the city of Pasadena. South Shaver Elementary, Southmore Intermediate, and Sam Rayburn High School. Ronnie served as a football, basketball, and baseball trainer all 4 years of high school and was elected as best dressed by his senior class. It makes total sense. After graduating high school, he attended San Jacinto College and worked at Bayshore Hospital as a respiratory therapy tech. There, he met a Pasadena police officer who told him PPD was hiring cops. Ronnie applied, was accepted, went on to graduate the 32nd Pasadena Police Academy class on March 26, 1979. Ronnie then went on to work all 3 patrol shifts for about 10 years until he was assigned to as liaison officer to municipal court. March 18, 1992, Ronnie was promoted to sergeant and was assigned to patrol and later assigned as communications sergeant. Ronnie was recognized for his dedication in the apprehension of a homicide suspect and received a Community Service Award. Great job, Ronnie. Ronnie created Pasadena. Now I'm about to share with you some things that are legendary and they're momentous. The reason is because we still do them today, and they've proliferated and they've grown and they've blossomed. That's the meaning of some of this that hits me so hard. Ronnie created Pasadena's first Citizen Police Academy and Junior Police Academy while coordinating the first 7 classes. And of course, in support of that, we have many of our CPA here. A lot of our chaplains, too. 2 pillars of their institutions within our institution, our CPA and our chaplains. So we love them dearly. In the second year of the Citizens Police Academy, Pasadena Police Department received the Citizen Academy of the Year Award under Ronnie's leadership. Sergeant Jordan worked in several divisions during his tenure, including Crime Stoppers, Financial Crimes, Juveniles, Children's Assessment Center, and the Volunteer Chaplain Corps. In 2017, Ronnie was awarded the Meritorious Service Award for saving the life of a lady who was choking in a Pasadena restaurant. Now, this is best of all. He's the father of Zach, Megan, and Caleb. Yay! The father-in-law of Anthony and Popo to his 4 grandchildren, Joy, Max, Axel, and Lily, who are all here today supporting him, along with his adoptive and world-famous grandmother, Tommy Lee. There's Tommy Lee. All right. Tommy Lee and Axel. Gosh, I miss the 80s, I'll tell you. All this. And Ronnie still, to this day, looks great in a uniform. Hasn't changed a bit, and I can prove it. I got a picture of Ronnie right here. You all can see that. All right, Ronnie, hold tight. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
I would. Thank you, Chief Wright, and everyone in attendance here. I know some of my church is here today that I pastor, and many of you, I've even got one guy that drove in from Louisiana. I'm thankful for being able to don this uniform for these 45 years. And in January, I was diagnosed with large B-cell lymphoma, and it consumed my whole abdomen, my whole body around the abdomen. And after chemo treatment, it's pretty much annihilated and completely gone. And Chief Wright has afforded me the opportunity to talk with him about maybe coming back till the first of the year. And my health is, I've still got to have another surgery on my back. I've got some vertebrae issues. But I am thankful. I'm blessed. I've worked alongside of many of you in making calls through the years, and it's by God's grace that we're here still, and I thank Him for every single day that we live, and I'm just appreciative of the city of Pasadena, and we've got it good. The benefits, the retirement system, everything that we got, we owe to our leaders that were ahead of us. Jimmy Lyde, you as TMPA president from way back, the fighting of benefits. Chief Wright, I'm thankful for you allowing me to be here today, and everybody else. Just thank you so much.
And thank you, Ronnie. All right, I am now going to read a highlight of MP Jackson, Lieutenant MP Jackson. His highlight reel is, wow, it's a full-length movie, I'll tell you that. I'm going to give you some highlights off of the highlight reel, and they're great. Lieutenant MP Jackson was born in Houston, Texas, and graduated from Stephen F. Austin High School in 1973. Prior to his service in Pasadena in 1977, he was a police officer for 2 years with the University of Houston Clear Lake Police Department. MP began service with our department on March 26, 1979. MP has an associate's degree in law enforcement from San Jacinto College, and he graduated with a Bachelor of Science from University of Houston, and more recently, a certification from the State of Texas Certified Public Manager Program at the William P. Hobby School of Public Affairs. Good job, MP. MP, I did some research. He, looking at the leadership schools, and MP has completed all of the leadership schools, really. Leadership and Command College, FBI National Academy, and recipient of very prestigious FBI LEADA Trilogy Award. Those are some accomplishments. Well done. Very well done, sir. MP graduated the 32nd Pasadena Police Academy in 1979, served as a field training officer prior to being promoted to sergeant in 1983. He worked in the detective division after that, and then internal affairs, and promoted to lieutenant on May 21st, 1991. He was assigned to the patrol division, and that was right before I got here. I came in December. During his service as lieutenant, he's worked on all 3 patrol shifts. Notably, MP Lieutenant Jackson has many, many firsts to his credit, just as I shared some firsts that Ron Jordan has. Lieutenant Jackson was the first commander of the Gang Task Force Resident Officer Program, you all remember that, Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit, and the Citizens Patrol Project. Very, very successful programs. In '96, he went to narcotics, headed up some major projects there, working on crime and subsidized housing areas. And as it happens, we are doing a version of that with our Broken Windows, a very large initiative in community improvement. That is a spinoff of what he really started back in the day. So kudos to that. In Special Investigations, MP was the first commander for the Community Defense Unit, Financial Crimes Unit, Project Spotlight, Fugitive Investigations Unit as well. In 2005, MP was promoted to Assistant Chief of Police, served in that role for nearly 12 years, and during that time, for a 15-month period, he served as interim Chief of Police and got some really, really impressive accomplishments achieved in that time period. this new building, $19.5 million project. Our department moved with great and heavy lifting from Dan as well, too, in that endeavor back in the day. Also got funding for a very expensive vehicle called a Bearcat at that time. So, and we still have that today. Many other large ticket items. Very, very well done. And I'm having to shorten this and leave out a lot of stuff, but you get the idea. He's really accomplished. Multiple leadership and performance awards have been given to MP. I'll just say a few of them for all kind of performance and leadership. But just this past January, he led an enormous team that received a chief citation for all of their combined and collective work in Maria Gonzalez murder case. And that was a very, very significant case. I'm very proud of his work on that. Yes, indeed. And I should note, I definitely want to add this, that MP serves on numerous boards and committees his entire career, and he's still active with those. So getting it all done. All this. And he also still looks great in a uniform. That hasn't changed a bit, and I can prove it. I got this picture right here to prove. MP. I got to do it to you. James Anderson taught me anything is have a little fun when you can in this job, okay? We got to do it. MP, would you care to say a few words?
Just a few words. First of all, thanks to Chief Wright for recognizing us in this manner. I don't think anybody has ever done that in the history of this department before, recognize somebody with more than 40 years of service. So thanks to him. Thanks Kelly and Donna for putting everything together. And, the first day I came here, what was impressed upon me by my sergeant in the academy, Sergeant Loud, who's sitting on the front row, was service. And we compare ourselves to no one else because we provide service that no one else does. We go out and do things and handle things and get things done that other police departments wouldn't think about. That's been impressed upon me for 45 years. So thank you. I've always been honored to wear this uniform. And when you go to other departments and you go to training at other departments, you realize the pride this department still has because you get immediate respect from other departments just because you work at the Pasadena Police Department. So anyway, thank you all for coming.
Incredible, incredible. Thank you, gentlemen. 45 years. One more presentation to make to you. Please stand right up here. All right, all right. Now, we have a certain person who works magic in our office, and he has done so for many years. It's Jason Shirley. Came up with a beautiful, beautiful 45-year commemorative badge for both of these gentlemen that they were willing to do.
Smile right here at the camera, guys. And look, hold
Show
up
those
that
badges.
so I can
Show
see.
those badges.
There you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you.
Incredible accomplishment. Oh, boy. We've been waiting for this one. You had to work with them in your formative years to understand the influence that someone has like that. All right. Before I get to James's bio, I just want to say something about the three of these gentlemen. They're all walking historical encyclopedias. They are about the history of the Pasadena Police Department, the city of Pasadena, and all of the things that go with it. And I got to tell you, they are great historians. But of the three, the scale tips to James in terms of storytelling. Now, when I was growing up and your mother said you were telling stories, that was not good. You didn't want to tell stories. But he's come to be a legendary storyteller. And in fact, he has an uncanny ability to choose from any of his 5 decades to apply a situation directly to some type of employee problem we might be having. He does a really good job. Very creative. Keeps it entertaining. When I came to work here in '91, I spent the first 7 years as 4 as a civilian and then as an officer on evening shift. And of course, Chief Massey at the time, back in the day. So all those great memories. But I will say that era and that time in our history is very, very special if you were lucky enough to be involved in it, because the supervision, which is here, minus a few, and old Steve Pillion was one of those. But back in the day, they knew how to keep us focused and how to continue every single day to instill the traditions of pride and service and treating others how you want your family to be treated. That was drilled into our heads. They really celebrated. We went out there and made a catch or got a good arrest or solved something. They really put us up and celebrated us. But what they did that kept it all going and positive and flowing was every single day in muster. It wasn't just muster. It was value-packed entertainment and lessons, and it felt it definitely had comedic value on several levels, like that. But they did. They taught us not to take ourselves and to take the job too seriously. They kept it tight and they kept it very light at the same time. And that is a magical blend if you can ever achieve that. And of course, through emotional impact learning, we were usually the source of the comedy, something we had done wrong. And one day when I say variety show feel, Dean Martin-esque, we had lion tamers, did we not? Yes. We had lion. There's a parable of the lion tamer. You can ask him one day. We actually also had true, real live celebrity guest. I kid you not, Sergeant Dave Scobie, and some of you were in the room that are in this room. Some of you were in muster. Escorted Larry Hagman, Dallas, J.R. Ewing, escorted him. Remember that day? To our muster. Incredible time. If you grew up in that era, I tell you what, we had a line of folks waiting to shake his hand, Mr. Hagman. And I got up there, my turn. I was about halfway in the line. And Mr. Hagman, I'm a very big fan. May I have your autograph? That's how it went in my head. But when I finally got my turn up there, I was starstruck. I vapor locked. I just said, Major Tony Nelson, I love astronauts or something. I kid you not. He was about that tall. He looked up at me, rolled his eyes, turned around and walked out. So everybody behind me, they were, I was not popular that day, but I was starstruck. But that's the type of musters we had, and it was a really special time. So I wish I could take you all back to that. We had birthday celebrations. We had massive luncheons at Grandy's at the time. You all remember those? That really brought us together as a department. And I will tell you this, I'm happy to say those birthday celebrations, those shift feeds and all of those different things, they still go on today. So that should make everybody kind of feel like those traditions are continuing to this day. I'm really happy about that. James, I want to thank you and Ronnie and MP for keeping our connections with our retiree community. We know when something happens because one of these three let us know. They tell us about it. So from the retiree dinners, that is an amazing thing. It gets bigger and better every single year. James does a heavy lifting with that, and I will also give a credit to Sergeant Granados, who has really started stepping in so that baton, it gets passed on. And then same thing, Granados, great job with retiree newsletter. I love that thing. It's very informative. It keeps everybody kind of knowing what's going on. All right. Let's go ahead and get to it. We'll get to the headliner. Step on up here, James. Right this way. All right, let me read you a little about James. James Anderson initially aspired to be a history teacher with a particular passion for Texas history. He attended Cruz Elementary School where he faced challenges like learning to cursive write. Anti-cursive. James's journey into law enforcement began unexpectedly. He was working at Montgomery Ward's making $2.05 an hour. So he had a dispatcher that was a cousin, said, come on over here. There are some opportunities. And he thought he hit the jackpot when his salary was raised to $3.50 an hour, $607 a month. Although he intended to work a few years and save for college and go that route, he found himself having too much fun, so he decided to stick around. Graduated from Academy class number 27. Wow, that is a wow.
Thanks for reminding me.
1974. Gosh, James had been working here 10 years before I was even born. Okay, does anybody believe that? No. I was 2, though, when he came to work here. So, in his cadet class, there were 12 cadets. One quit on the first day, because on the first day they told him, there is a typing requirement to have your notes typed. Well, no one pulled him aside and said, it doesn't matter who types the notes, they just need to be typed when they come to class. So James and I laughed yesterday, and in the old days we would say that particular fellow probably did not get his donuts for free. Right. But now we can't even see donuts anymore, really. Throughout his career, James achieved notable milestones. As union president, he secured benefits such as court pay, Spanish compensation, holiday pay, and I remember, was it 92? The big one?
Big one.
The big raise. We call it the big raise. That was a very large pay raise for police officers. He also created the Fugitive Warrant Division and Officer-Involved Shooting Investigation Team. James was promoted to sergeant on December 9th, 1985, and one of his proudest moments was solving his first homicide case within 17 days solo, just by himself, which is pretty amazing, I'll say that. James also valued his time in the Violent Offender Task Force. We're going to talk about warrant service today. We're going to talk about these gentlemen and lady. We're going to discuss it. But the Violent Offender Task Force, it's the worst of the worst. It is the highest risk, most dangerous, bar none, nothing to lose individuals. And James served on that. And we have a group that does it now. And if there is a group that makes me lose sleep at night, there's a handful of them. That's one of them. From 97 to 2004, Sergeant James Anderson credits his success to strong communication skills, I agree, which he believes are foundational to effective law enforcement. His absolute favorite memories include interactions with colleagues and the satisfaction of convincing a violent offender to surrender peacefully after a botched drug deal. Over his career, he's witnessed several significant changes in policing environment. Some of them have to do with the advent of cell phones and cameras. James recalls a time back in the day where if you're struggling with someone out in the street on a call, there would be citizens that would come to your aid immediately instead of recording it and narrating how to do the job as they record it. His guiding principle came from the great Sergeant Walt Hayes. Treat people the way you want them to treat you. How simple is that? How simple is that? His career advice, James's career advice and personal ethos reflect his commitment to fairness and integrity. That's what I think of when I think of James. I've got some breaking news. You heard it here first, actually. James plans to retire in January 2026. Indeed.
Just to making y'all happy.
Hey, I'm a happy guy, man. I'm a happy guy. And he straight from your nose. He looks forward to traveling, starting a trip to the Grand Canyon. Hopes to be remembered as fair and just. And I just have a note here that says, I can promise you, James, that reputation is in stone. Fair and just. I think that is incredibly admirable. James has it all figured out. Family is central to his life. He has a wife and 2 sons. And this is good. I love this part. Jeff and Jason, 2 grandsons, Jacob and Jesse, and 1 granddaughter, Gemma. Notably, all his grandchildren share the initials J.A. Mm-hmm. A legacy George Foreman himself would be proud of. All this, and James still looks great in a uniform. Hasn't changed a bit, and I can prove it.
First of all, many months ago, I had a Donna Greer shows up in my office and she says, hey, your 50th is coming up. What would you like? And out of just the heck of it, I said, like a new car. So today, guess what Donna gave me? I have a new car. Thank you, Donna, for, appreciate that. I see a lot of, first of all, I got a high school buddy of mine, Warren Meyer. I think he's in the back. He's been swallowed up by a bunch of police, so hopefully he'll come out okay. I have some good stories about me and Warren, but I don't think the statute of limitations has run out on some of them, Warren, so we're going to keep that. Sissel, Massey, Jimmy Lyde, Russo, Fickerson, Steve Vaughn. I have a lot of stories about them, but once again, my attorney said, no, you cannot speak about those. You can't do that just yet. You have to wait a few more years. But I want to point out that we've had, people ask me, why have I been here so long? And I enjoy this job. I enjoy our leadership from Mayor Wagner, Johnny Isabel, Councilman Ybarra, Councilman Shanebine have been big supporters of the police and still are and will be forever. It's great to see them here today. And also, one of the reasons I've liked working here is this group of people over here. We're fixing to talk about them in a little bit. I have a few words to say about them, but this is one of the best class of people that I've ever worked with in my career here. But thanks for Chief Wright and also I want to throw some props out to Chief Tombrau and Chief Warnicke for your support through the years and also your support of the group that we're fixing to honor here with their accomplishments. But once again, thanks everybody. Appreciate the award. Thanks again, Chief.
Right here, to the right. Okay, there's so much material. We have to we have to tell you some of it. James actually broke the City Service Award program. He broke it. 50 years. I mean, come on, really? It's not true, HR. They did something different, but not because of you. But they had given him a ring. They gave him a watch. They gave him a grandfather clock. I mean, a lot of hints, really. Time is ticking away. Tick-tock, time's wasting. But he just kept hanging around. So we were faced with, well, gosh, what are we going to do? Hourglass or a sundial? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So we went with, again, Jason Shirley came up with a beautiful 50th anniversary badge. And it's really heavy and nice, and I want to present that to you today, James.
Oh, thank you.
Gentlemen, here we go, smile. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Let's open your eyes just a tad. I don't want you looking sleepy, please. Okay, good. Got it, thank you.
Excellent job.
Also, one quick thing I want to point out, I can't last in this job as long as I have without family. Y'all want to stand? That's my wife, Angela, sister-in-law, Joan, brother-in-law, Jeff, Jesse, my grandson, Jason, Jeff, and Jacob, my oldest grandson. Anyway, got to point that out. Thanks, guys.
Exactly. Okay, we're down to the finale. And this is really in tribute to not only a great, hardworking, talented, brave group of individuals, but it's also a tribute to James. He's part of this award. These officers and Sergeant James Anderson are being recognized for consistent, outstanding work and commitment to the mission of serving arrest warrants for everything from most types of felonies to various types of misdemeanor crimes. And as we talked about earlier, yes, we have a very dangerous unit with our Violent Offenders Task Force. They serve the worst of the worst of the worst, but guess what? There's a whole lot of additional warrants that had not James recognized a gap now 10.5 years ago, those warrants will be left up to out there in society, and I'll tell you about that. Something extremely impressive about this particular group and project that Sergeant James Anderson has been cultivating and leading for well over 10 years now is that, and I've said this many times in public, it's the longest running proactive program that we have ever had. That is very important distinction. It's a collateral assignment. That means It's done while on the same clock as the other jobs are doing. These are all patrol officers doing very difficult patrol work that entails everything that we all know that it entails. And guess what? Every single day, they also say, when I'm not on a call for service or on this or on that, I'm going to go and try to do this. And I'm going to tell you some stats that are just incredibly impressive. All right. I want you to imagine how safer our community is because we have this group of dedicated officers coming to work every day, as I said, with their regular duties, and then they go out and attempt to serve these. Not surprisingly, people generally don't want to go to jail, so it makes it quite a dangerous job in and of itself. 1,600 felony warrants in 10 years. That's 160 every single year, and it's almost like clockwork. Had a little dip in the COVID in the next year after COVID, but not much. I believe it was 120 for those years. So incredible performance and production out of these folks. I'm so proud of them. I know for a fact their work has made our city safer. I'll tell you why. It's a little thing called recidivism, repeat offenders. Generally speaking, if you're in the community that lands themselves with a felony warrant, if that is not seen to and justice is not served on that, they tend to go out and commit other crimes in our society. It makes it very, very dangerous and makes the atmosphere for all of us a little bit more dangerous. So these officers sitting here today most certainly have made the city safer, and I'll give you a second very important point to think about. If we didn't have this group that you started, these warrants wouldn't get served until an officer happened upon them on a traffic stop or on a call for service. That makes it a heightened element of danger for these officers. So I want to thank each of you, every single one of you, all excellent officers. So proud to give this particular award. I want to thank you for what you do to make the city safer. It is an honor to present you all with this Chief's Citation Award. Come on up.
Awesome.
Let's give them a round of applause.
This warrant program started in January of 2014. I want to give credit. I don't know if I see Lieutenant Holt here today, but he was the original day shift lieutenant that authorized it. We've been running it successfully since then. I think we've done a pretty good job. I think we probably tried to serve over 5,000 warrants in basically 10 years, and over 1,600 crooks went to jail. I have to say, this group of people, they require virtually no supervision. I mean, it's amazing how they work. And I also point out that there's no injuries and no injuries to suspects or officers during this whole time. Even though a guy did jump out a third-story window and landed at the feet of Sergeant Fickerson, but, he was okay on Harris Street. So 2216 Harris, the guy that jumped out, yeah. Eric's like, wow, what is this? Manna from heaven. Here we go. Anyway, this is a great group of people. If you remember, I have to use sports analogies. Back in the 80s was Phi Slamma Jamma with Guy Lewis at the University of Houston. And they once accused Guy Lewis of not being a very good coach because he had such talented players. He just brought the basketballs out and threw them out on the court. And his response to that was, well, somebody's got to throw the balls out. So that's what he's doing. So that's basically what I do. I pull these warrants up. If they need guidance, they get with me. I give this to these ladies and these guys here, and they take care of all of that. They've done a fantastic job, and I'm with the chief, and I don't know where we would be without someone having to do this. I know that the county warrant division, who does all the warrants every day, they don't even assign a deputy out here anymore because of what we do. So we take care of the city, and it's a very big honor to sit here with these guys and ladies up here and enjoy what they've been recognized for, because they truly deserve it. And also, I think we do things in this department that other departments I don't think really do, and I'm going to have to give credit to Jimmy Ladd. You did a commercial years ago, and you said this statement, and it's very true. You said, we are a unique police department. Remember that? And we are. So I thank you for that statement. I just borrowed it and counterfeited it off of you, but anyway. We've got a great group of people here, and I think they deserve all the credit for making this program successful, and we will continue to do it. And like I say, congratulations to all these guys. They're super good people. So give them a good hand.
And that will conclude the ceremony. Thank you all for coming out and supporting. It's going to make the day very, very special for everyone that was here because you were here helping them, support them. Stick around, have some cake, and congratulate all these recipients. Thank you all.